Number 5, papers. Madam Speaker, we have a paper to be tabled by Honorable Peter the
Honorable Gashomba, member for Jabini Ward, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Report, I have a report on Special Fund Committee on Nyandarua County Executive State Loan and Mortgage. Financial year 30th June 2024, and I table it with the clerk. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The report duly tabled, the processed as directed by the House Business Committee, pursuant to Standing Order 155D. Order.
Madam Speaker, under the same order on papers, we have a report by Honorable Paul Ngeshe Wambaira, the Chairperson, Committee on Health Services.
Very well, Honorable Paul Ngeshe Wambaira, Chairperson.
To date, the committee has identified several matters requiring clarification. It has sought the necessary information from the medical superintendent. It further engaged the medical superintendent on 10th April 2025 at 10 a.m. to shed light on some of the issues from the report. Presently, the committee is in the final stages of analyzing the responses provided in relation to these issues. In light of the ongoing analysis, the committee respectfully requests that this Honorable House grant an extension of 14 days to complete its review and present the final report on the matter. Madam Speaker, this morning you saw the committee with the other already brought here in reports, Madam Speaker, and it is not in vain that within the 14 days we'll have a comprehensive report, elaborate, expounded. Vice Honorable Kayani. Yeah, that report will be a report that is comprehensible. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Paul Ngeshe. The leave sought is well explained and deserving, and so I grant it as sought. The chairperson should ensure, and you're the chairperson, you should ensure the report is ready within the time requested. That's the time of 14 days. Clerk, next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. We have a motion to be given by Honorable Peter the Kiriga, the Chairperson, Committee on Special Funds Accounts.
On the notices, Honorable Gashomba, you are standing in for Honorable Peter the Kiriga.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion. This House does a double report of the Committee on Special Fund Accounts on Nyandarua County Executive, State and Public Officers, into bracket, Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund, Annual Report and Financial Statements for the financial year ended, that is June 2024, as a report of this House and the recommendation therein as the resolution of this Honorable House. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Gashomba. Clerk, next order. Sorry, before we proceed to the clerk, the notice of motion is duly given, and the same shall be processed as directed by the House pursuant to Standing Order 157(5)D. Clerk, next order.
Madam Speaker, following your directions on the report from the Health Services Committee, we proceed to order number 7 on statements. Order number 8, motion and bills. Madam Speaker, we have a motion to be moved by Honorable Geoffrey Kamwana, the Chairperson, Committee on Implementation.
Honorable Geoffrey Kamwana, the Chairperson, Committee on implementation. Proceed.
Honorable Madam Speaker, with me I have the report on the implementation of resolutions passed by this House. And Madam Speaker, it is the mandate of the Implementation Committee to look at the resolutions that have been passed by this Honorable House. And of course, Madam Speaker, within the time bound that is given, normally it is usually 60 days, but as a committee, we have been able to bring to this House some of the resolutions that have been passed and the extent of their implementation. Honorable Madam Speaker, the committee is constituted by the chairman. We have a vice chairman who is Catherine Nyawira Matenge. We have other members who includes Peter Gadongo Kamau, Honorable Samuel Rimui Kayani, Honorable Esther Waidira Wangari, Honorable Patrick Muhindi, Honorable John Duogashino, Honorable Benson Kiari Njoki, and also we have Honorable Ajiro Isaac Kongo. The secretariat who has been facilitating this committee includes our legal counsel, Mr. John Kahinga, and our clerk, who is Mrs. Wangeshi Kangau. Honorable Speaker, the committee commenced to appraise itself on the implementation status of these House resolutions pursuant to Standing Order number 192. I want to remind this House, which requires the committee to one is to scrutinize the resolution of the Assembly, including adopted committee reports, petitions, and the undertakings given by the County Executive Committee, and examine whether or not such decisions and undertakings have been implemented, and were implemented, the extent to which they have been implemented, and whether such implementation has taken the minimum time necessary, and whether or not registration passed by the Assembly has been operationalized, and where operationalized, the extent to which authorization has taken place within the minimum time necessary. Honorable Madam Speaker, you can be able to see that the committee has a lot of mandates, more than any other committee, to look at the business that has passed in this Honorable House. Honorable Speaker, on diverse dates, the committee sought from various county departments for an update on the implementation of the adopted resolutions as contained in the following reports. Madam Speaker, one was that a report on statement sought by Honorable James Mwangi Geshoke on the status of RAD proposed for construction of affordable housing project. The other one was the report of Committee on Lands, Physical Planning, and Urban Development on Olkarau Municipality Integrated Strategic Urban Development Plan. We commonly call it as ISDUP, for the year 2023 to the year 2033. And finally, report on the Committee on Water, Environment, Climate Change, and Natural Resources on Nyandarua County Annual Climate Change Report of the financial year 2022 and year 2023. In response, the various departments submitted reports on the status of implementation to the committee. Honorable Speaker, the first one, that is the report on the statement sought by Honorable James Mwangi Geshoke on the status of RAD proposed for construction of affordable housing project. The Committee on Lands, Physical Planning, and Urban Development was directed to compile this report. The report was tabled adopted by the Assembly on 6 December 2023. The committee recommendations and the resolutions of the Assembly were that the County Executive Committee member in charge of Lands, Physical Planning, and Urban Development does ensure that surveying is done to establish the boundary of the RAD parcel number Nyandarua, stroke Muruaki, number 589, and that the Department of Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development does liaise with the National Lands Commission to fast-track the possession of the land, if any part of the land has been grabbed and or encroached. The status of the implementation is that the County Executive Committee member responsible for RAD's Physical Planning and Urban Development, through a letter dated 20th January 2025, and the reference has been given. It is there, and it is in the annexure, and which made the following submissions: that the survey of the RAD parcel has been done, mutation drawn, and registered by the district surveyor in Nyandarua South, and that there are two adjacent parcels of RAD measuring 5 and 2 acres respectively, and that the two parcels of RAD are intact and have not been encroached. Madam Speaker, I don't know maybe whether all those who sought statements and which later on became a resolution of this House, whether they are here to reason to the findings so that they can be able maybe to respond. But about the committee observation was that the implementation of the aforementioned resolutions is complete. On the report of...
Honorable Kamona, you asked the question. Are you seeing them in the House?
Madam Speaker, I cannot, for example, see the first seeker or who we have been able to look into his statement. That is Honorable Magi James Geshoki is not in the House. Or he has come, I don't know. But I assume that you'll be able to look at the report.
Okay.
Either maybe via soft. I don't know whether he is able to look at these things because they are provided so that he can be able to see whether the report or the observation that has been made by the executive and also by the committee, whether it is enough.
All right, proceed.
On the report of Committee on Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development on Olkarau Municipality Integrated Strategic Urban Development Plan, that is the ISUDU, the Committee on Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development was directed to compile this report. The report was tabled and adopted by the Assembly on the 27th day of March 2024. And the committee recommendations and the resolution of the Assembly was that, one, that the County Executive Committee member for Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development shall place a caution within 30 days on the 4 blocks of land adjacent to the Arboretum on the southeast side and between Umoja Estate and Nyandarua Estate under Section 71 of the Land Registration Act of 2012 until the disputes on the ownership and the boundaries are resolved. The second one was that the County Executive Committee member for Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development shall place a caution within 30 days on the block of land opposite Olkarau Secondary School around Olkarau Jabini Road, initially earmarked for industrial use in the approved development plan of 1987 of the defacant Olkarau Town Council under Section 71 of the Land Registration Act 2012 until the disputes on the ownership and the boundaries are resolved. That the Department of Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development shall within 6 months secure all the public land within the Olkarau municipality by fencing them and ensuring that all of them have title documents. The other one was that the county government through the Department of Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development shall ensure that the process of land allocation and tilting within the Olkarau municipality is concluded within 6 months. And lastly, that the county treasury shall prioritize and allocate adequate funds in the financial year 2024-2025 for surveying and tilting of plots within the Olkarau municipality. Madam Speaker, on the implementation status is that the County Executive Committee member responsible for RAD's Physical Planning and Urban Development through a letter dated 20th January 2025, and the level is given there, made the following submissions. Resolution 1 and 2, on the Resolution 1 and 2, the CCM submitted that the department has written to the RAD Registrar, Nyandarua County, through a letter dated 29th April 2024, requesting him to place a caution on the parcels stated in the resolutions of the committee. and that the Department of Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development shall within 6 months secure all the public land within all Karau municipality by fencing them and ensuring that all of them have title documents. The department submitted that ground verification exercise on all public land within all Karau was conducted between 4th and 15th November 2024, and 400 public land parcels were identified. However, the data is yet to be cleaned as to ascertain the number of public lands registered in the Nyandarua County Registry. Another resolution was that the county government, through the Department of Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development, shall ensure that the process of land allocation and tilting within the Olkarau municipality is conducted within 6 months. The CCM submitted that the department is currently undertaking a survey for Olkarau Block 1 to 6, and following completion, allotment letters and title deeds will be issued to the cleared land parcels. He further added that the department, in collaboration with the judiciary, is in the process of developing an alternative justice system, county action plan under the digital land governance program, which is aimed at resolving the disputed land parcels. On another resolution, Madam Speaker, is that the county treasury shall prioritize and allocate adequate funds in the financial year 2024-2025 for surveying and tilting of plots within Olkarau municipality. The CCM submitted that in the fiscal year 2023 and 2024, 750,000 was allocated for surveying block 1. In financial year 2024-2025, a further allocation of 3 million was allocated for surveying blocks 2 to 6. Unfortunately, the allocation was not adequate to complete the surveying, and hence the department requested for an enhancement of the budgetary allocation in the financial year 2025-2026. On our findings as a committee, that the implementation of the House resolution is ongoing. I want members to note here that when you look at the status of the implementation of the concerns that has been raised to do with the parcels of land in the Olkarau municipality, is that most of them has not been completed due to the reasons that we have been able to mention there. And on the report of Committee on Water, Climate Change and Natural Resources on Nyandarua County Annual Climate Change Report of the financial year 2022-2023, the Committee on Water, Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources tabled a report that was adopted by the House on 6th day of December 2023. The committee recommendations and the decision of the Assembly is that, 1, that within 60 days, the County Executive Committee member in charge of water, environment, climate change and natural resources does submit the Nyandarua County Climate Change Fund regulations to the County Assembly, period to which no further spending after the lapse of timelines without approved regulations. The second one was that in future, to ensure smooth transition between the county governments after elections, the director in charge of climate change is held responsible for adherence to the timelines for reporting as provided for in the Nyandarua County Climate Change Act of 2021. And the third one is that the County Executive Committee member for Water, Climate Change and Natural Resources does ensure that the expenditure from the grant is within the allocated budget. Madam Speaker, on the status of implementation, the first resolution is that within 60 days, the county government executive member in charge of water, environment and climate change and natural resources does submit the Nyandarua County Climate Change Fund regulations to the County Assembly, period to which no further spending after the lapse of timelines without approved regulations. Through a letter dated 19th July 2024, and the letter has been provided in the annexure, that is annexure 2. Madam Speaker, the CCM submitted as follows: that the department, together with the County Executive Committee member in charge of County Treasury, did draft the further regulations. However, the department has submitted to the Assembly the Nyandarua County Climate Change Amendment Bill of 2024. He underscored that the regulations can only be formulated once the House approves the amendment bill. On the resolution 2, that in future, to ensure smooth transition between the county government after elections, the director in charge of climate change is held responsible for adherence to the timelines for reporting as provided for in the Nyandarua County Climate Change Act 2021. The CCM underscored that there is usually no vacuum in the office of the chief officer and that the role of the reporting is vested on the chief officer who doubles up as a fund administrator. On the third resolution of this assembly, that the county executive committee member for water, climate change, and natural resources does ensure the expenditure from the grant is within the allocated budget. The CCM submitted that the financially Rockery-led climate actions, FROCA, which is popularly known as FROCA, has always been with the budget and work plans. He also submitted that measures has been put in place to ensure adherence to the work plans and the reporting done to the National Treasury for the project implementation unit. On our findings as a committee, the committee noted that the Nyandarua County Climate Change Amendment Bill 2024 was introduced in the House through a first reading, and it's before the corresponding departmental committee for consideration. The committee therefore observed that the implementation of the above stated resolution is still ongoing. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Madam Speaker, that during its sitting held, that is the committee recommendations, we held a meeting on 7th March 2025, the committee made the following recommendations. That the county assembly does enhance its scrutiny of laws, resolutions, and motions to ensure that the resolutions passed are implementable. And the second one is that the House, and by extension, the committees does ensure that all the recommendations, or in other words, the resolutions passed by the House are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. In short, we have been able to call them the SMART. Honorable Madam Speaker, if I can give one of the reasons that as a committee we are asking the House, and specifically the committee, to be able to enhance their work is because there have been back and forth of the work that comes to the committee, which, for example, contradicts to an extent that some of the reports that may be sought by the committees from the other side, that is from the executive, cannot match, and such that when they come to our committee, we cannot be able to make a conclusion. At other times, we find it that it is the work of the committee itself that has not been done well. That's why we are recommending that the committees, to a large extent, should try as much as possible to work in a smart manner, so that as a committee, when we look into their matter, we are able to make a conclusion.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
What is your point of order, Honorable Matimu?
Madam Speaker, the chair, implementation, I just mentioned something that has just triggered me, that committee should work smart. Does he want to allege that the work that we've been doing, to a bigger extent, we don't work smart? And does it mean that even some of the statement, I don't believe that there's any honorable member who can seek a statement, or any committee can sit down and come up with recommendations that have no end result or has nothing in finality. I believe that each and every committee, when they sit down, they do it for the good of our beautiful county, Nyandarua. So I think on that particular section, the chair is out of order. But I wait for you to rule.
Chair, do you mind clarifying on what you meant?
Honorable Madam Speaker, I will clarify, but honorable member should have left that discretion to you as a chair to see whether I have been in order or I have not been in order. Madam Speaker, I didn't say...
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
What is your point of order, Honorable Whip?
Madam Speaker, is it in order for the member from Gadara Ward to say that an honorable member was supposed to sit and wait for you. The speaker, I'm told, does not see or does not hear. So it is upon us members to ask on what we are following. So I think the honorable member, you are really caught out of order.
Honorable Chief Whip, that is why I kept quiet to let it slide. I didn't want to belabor the points. So proceed, Honorable Kamwana. As you have heard, I don't have eyes, I don't see.
Okay, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Madam Speaker, I wanted to say that if Honorable Matimo clearly got what I said as I was expounding on this observation that we made as a committee, I didn't say that the committees do not, or the seeker of such statements that come under or in the floor of this house that at one time they do not have the idea or they do not have worked smart when they bring those statements. It is not at that stage. But Honorable Madam Speaker, if quickly I can be able to attest to what we have been able to find as a committee, is that, like, for example, if I can remember, if I not really that I can remember, if I can be able to remind him in the resolution or in the observation or of the committee of water, climate change and natural resources, is that in their report they had not been able to note that the chief officer was right when they said there was no vacuum. Because in their findings, they had, as a committee, had reported that there was a vacuum, and when it went now to the executive, they were able to defend themselves by saying that there was no any time there was such a vacuum, and that they had acted accordingly. Just to mention but a few of what we intended to request the committees to, as much as possible, to look into all the gaps that can be able to be defended by those people they seek or they sought those treatments.
All right, I think that is okay.
Yes.
Well explained.
Honorable Speaker, that is the report of the findings that as a committee we have been able to look at the few resolutions that have been passed by this House. However, I request that we be able to be bringing as many resolutions as possible in this Honorable House. And for this purpose, now I call Honorable Isaac Kongo Wanjiro to second.
All right, thank you, Honorable Kamwana, for that motion. I now call upon Honorable Kungo, the member for Wanjohi Ward, and the incoming member of Parliament, Okipipiri.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to second the report. Honorable Speaker, I don't know what to say this afternoon, because if you want to know whether an assembly is working or it is not working, mainly it is not many other businesses that we do here. The only mirror or the only indicator that we have to show that this assembly has been working is a report by the committee on implementation. Each and every report that comes to this assembly, at the end of the report, there are resolutions that are adopted by this House. And after the adoption of the resolutions by this House, they are conveyed to the Committee on Implementation to look into the implementation of the same. And so I expect any time that the Committee on Implementation is tabling a report, most of the members and the chairs of the committees should be very keen, because this is the only way they can know whether the work they did through the report that they tabled on this assembly worked or did not work, whether it is work in vain. So we expect, for example, from what the chair has read, to see responses from various committees, from various chairs, on various resolutions that were made in this House. The only thing that can distinguish this house as a powerhouse with legal mandate other than a debating club is how effective an implementation of the resolution of this house. Otherwise, when we fail on the part of resolution, this becomes just another debating club. Where we come, we debate, we make a resolution, we go. By the end of the day, there is nothing we have achieved. The only measure for the success of any assembly, it is how effective the resolutions of the House have been implemented. Honorable Madam Speaker, I second the report.
Thank you, Honorable Kongo, for seconding the report. I propose the question, which is that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on Implementation on the status of or extent of implementation of various county assembly resolutions as the report of the House and the recommendations therein as the resolutions of the House. Debate. Honorable Matimo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to stand from the onset to really thank the committee for the work that they've done. But with some little reservation, Madam Speaker, on the resolutions that we've passed as a House. From what we've received, yes, it's just part of some of the resolutions that we've passed as an assembly from the various committees. And I want to agree with Honorable Kongo, Chair Budget, that the mirror of the work that we do in this assembly, the bottom line of it, or when all is done and said, the committee that reflects back to us whether we've managed to achieve what we were supposed to achieve or not is the Committee on Implementation. Madam Speaker, sometimes our hands are tied. And once we pass a resolution as a House, it's upon the Committee of Implementation to ensure that whatever we've passed as resolutions or recommendations, the only committee that can help us ensure that the same is passed is the Committee on Implementation. So I'm calling upon them that some of because the chair has just mentioned but one issue, we can even cite more examples of issues that we've taken to the executive, and they are time-bound resolutions. The resolutions that are supposed to be implemented with accordance with the law, but you find that once they land to some of the CCMs, they don't implement some of the resolutions that we have. So we are humbly requesting the committee going forward that wherever we have some of these recommendations, let them assist this Honorable House to ensure that they are done within the timelines. And a very good example, the other day, Madam Speaker, you were a chairperson of a committee that we had in this Honorable House that was looking into the issues to do with the health matters and also to do with the insurance matter in our county. And you did some very commendable job that if the executive goes ahead and implements all that you came up, at least in matters health, in matters insurance of our vehicles, we shall be way far ahead. But unless this committee helps us to ensure that the same is done, we shall still remain mark timing in the same position, because you as a committee, your mandate ended. The only committee that can drive that particular issue to be done is the Committee on Implementation. I can see the honorable member from Kipipiri together with us here. He has a committee that is very robust, a committee that works day and night, because not once, not twice I've ever been in their meetings. And they do come up with very good recommendations that pertains to the health matters of our county. If we can go ahead and ensure that those recommendations are followed to the letter, Madam Speaker, I can assure you that our county in matters health, we shall be far, far much ahead. I can see the chairman, Water, together with us, Honorable Mbaye. They've also come up with several recommendations as a committee. If we can be able to ensure that through the same committee, those recommendations are followed and done, we can be far, far much ahead. I remember one of the recommendations, and I remember another honorable member mentioning it the other day. We are in for the rainy seasons. Honorable Gitau Njamba came to this honorable house, and we passed resolutions that those heavy trucks ferrying logs, we should ensure that during these heavy rains, they don't transport the logs because they end up destroying our roads. What is happening right now? We are still finding some of our roads being destroyed by these very trucks. We made recommendations and we did send them for implementation. Nothing has happened to date. Madam Speaker, we are calling upon the chair to really help us that going forward, these recommendations are followed to the letter. I can see the vice chair and the chair was here of sports come up with other recommendations as a committee that once we implement in matters football, in matters athletics, we shall be in a position, Honorable Lucy Kidenji, to ensure that we go forward. Thank you, Madam Speaker, sir. Madam Speaker, I support.
You called me sir, but thank you for that correction. So, Honorable Keshe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I appreciate the work by the committee. I was concerned on 2 points. The committee, that is page 2, the committee comprises of Jeffrey Kamwana Waruiro, Honorable Catherine Nyawira Madenge, Honorable Peter Gadogo Kamau, Honorable Samuel Remui Kayani, Honorable Esther Waithira Wangari, Honorable Patrick Mohindi, Honorable John Lugo Gashino, Honorable Benson Kialie Joki, and Honorable Wajiro Isaac. The 9 members, it is interesting what they are telling this house. You see, Madam Speaker, go to page 10. Resolution number 2. What they are telling us. They are telling us the house that by extension the committee does ensure that all the recommendation or resolution passed by the house are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. For me, this is an insult. They are telling us that maybe whatever we have been passing in this house, it is not specific. It is not measurable. It is not achievable. And I will emphasize it is not achievable. It is not realistic. And it is not time-bound. Then, if this is their resolution, then it means we have wasted 2.5 years. And from where I sit, Madam Speaker, I sit in a committee whereby I can tell you we work smart. And our resolution has yielded fruits. So we could, how I could wish they now expound to us which these committees, because you cannot generalize that in this house that we does ensure that all the recommendation or resolution passed by the house are specific, are measurable, are achievable, are realistic, and time-bound. Well, we know very well we have dealt with issues here, and they have yielded fruits. Unless this particular report was meant maybe to cause an insult to the members. and I keep supporting it. But it's a great insult to us now that they have not even given us the measure. They does not indicate the parameter of coming up with the specific, with the measurable, with the achievable, with the realistic, with the time-bound resolution, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, I don't want to belabor much with this, but in itself, it is shallow. We have, we are not dealing with so many resolutions. They have actually dealt with the only one resolution. Can one resolution be a parameter to tell this House that even others, it is not fair at all to other committees, because we have been working tirelessly. We have been guided by the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. We have been guided by PFMA Act. We have been guided by other relevant law. And with that, Madam Speaker, I wish now to move an amendment, though I am ready to move this amendment. How I wish we remove this kind of resolution that requires that the House, the House, to ensure that recommended resolution passed by the House are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Because this is an egg on our face, because we have been here. It then means, you see, this is Supreme Committee that talks about implementation. It then means whatever we have been doing for the 2.5 years, it is not, it is unrealistic. It is not measurable. And it will be, when the mover will be responding, maybe he will give the way, because initially they had something good, very good, but at the tail end, it is a mix-up. Thank you, Madam Speaker. And learning the mood of the House, I call the mover to respond.
Thank you, Honorable Ngeshe. We have Honorable Catherine Nyawera, specially elected member for Curator Ward.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to also support the report by the Implementation Committee. Maybe one of the points that I would like to deliberate upon is the issue of budgetary allocations in cases where we are having to deal with resolutions. Many a time, members bring motions that require financial muscle to deliver. However, during supplementary budgeting, these monies are then supplemented. Say, for example, the GIS system, maybe they want 130 million. The Assembly puts 130 million in the initial budget. Then in the supplementary budget, there is a supplementation and 40 million is removed. This happens, and the Lands Committee is not able to complete that process because an allocation has been removed from their docket.
Point of clarification, Madam Speaker.
What do you want to clarify, Honorable Martin?
I can see the chair budget. The chair budget is a member of this committee. I would wish to get some clarification. Does the Assembly make the budget, or does it come from the executive? We don't make budget. It comes from the executive. So if there's any removal that is done, it's done by the executive and not the Assembly. Thank you.
All right, Honorable Kongo, you have something to add?
Maybe I didn't want to dwell into the debate of measurable and doable, because to what extent, Honorable Speaker, I want to read a resolution here. That the RADS department is supposed to fence. You are given 60 days. You go and fence all the public RAD. How do you expect that resolution to be implemented? I don't want to dwell into the debate, but the Rice Committee starts that some of the resolutions given in this House are not measurable, they are not doable, they are not implementable.
So Honorable Kungu, just to answer Honorable Matimu's question, and to clarify on that issue, so that for the sake of knowledge for the members.
The budget is prepared by the Nyandarua Executive Treasury. And the work of this House is to make sure that we adopt with minimum change of 1% where applicable.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, Budget Committee, for that clarification.
Also,
it's good to see progress.
Chair.
All right, Honorable Gashomba, you want to add something?
Yes, on the same note to Honorable nominated from Kreta, that I do read on the budget appropriated to the departments. I want to understand whether he's here to defend the county government, whether they have been appropriated or not as an assembly.
Honorable Catherine, you can proceed and deal with the queries.
Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi naona labda kizungu ndio iko na tashwishi kidogo. Wacha niongee kwa ile lugha mimi huwa nimezoea na lugha ambao naweza jieleza. Labda nimetumia jina moja ama mbili ambayo ina maana zaidi ya moja. Mheshimiwa Spika, nilikuwa naongea kuhusu bajeti ya kaunti. Na nilikuwa naeleza kwamba wakati bajeti ya ziada inaletwa katika hii bunge, alafu tunatoa pesa ama pesa imetolewa na hatuwezi badilisha kama mwenyekiti wa bajeti ameyosema kwamba tunatoa tu, tunaweza badilisha tu 1%. Asilimia 1%. Inatu sijui niseme nini. Hoja ambayo nilikuwa nataka kueleza vizuri ni kwamba sio uwezo wa hii kamati ama hili bunge tukufu, lakini ni kwa uwezo wa bunge ya upande wa serikali kuu. Kwa hivyo sisi wenyewe tunakuanga tumekandamiza hiyo department, hiyo taasisi. Hivyo basi kufanya bunge isifanye kazi yake, na hivyo basi nilikuwa nasema wakati mbunge ameleta hoja, hiyo hoja ameiweka wazi. Hajasema hoja yake anataka maji iwekwe kwa muda unaofaa. Kama kamati ya utekelezaji tunakuanga na shida sana, kwa sababu tukiandikia taasisi husika huwa wanarudisha, wanasema hawajafanya. Kwa nini hawajafanya? Hawajakuwa na, yani ule muda uliowekwa katika hiyo hoja haujasemeka. Na hapo ndio nilikuwa nataka pia kuambia mwenzangu kutoka eneo la Kipipiri, ni vizuri wakati ofisi ya table office, wakati wanafanya hoja, wahakikishe ama wawe wakipa mawaidha wajumbe waweke muda kwa hoja zao ili ziweze kufanyika kwa muda ufaao. Sijui kama tunaelewana, lakini hiyo ndio ilikuwa hoja yangu na ninaunga huu mjadala 100%.
Asante. Looking around, I think everybody's got what you meant. Call the mover.
I now wish to call my chair, Honorable Kamwana, to move.
Honorable Madam Speaker, quickly before I move this motion, if you allow me, I can be able to answer a few questions. And more specifically, Madam Speaker, if honorable members who had issues with the connotations of the language that had been used by the committee's observations, I want to say and reiterate that it is not mockery, neither we are not sarcastic, we are not abusive. but we want to honor every member of this honorable house. Madam Speaker, although it has been even alluded by one member of my committee, Honorable Kongo, that we cannot within this time be able to show the extent of the measurable or of these words, because it's a bit hard to quantify them. When, for example, you use the word specific, it is we can only explain in a very simple grammar. For the measurable, it may take some time to be able to see these things. But when we, Honorable Madam Speaker, we come to achievable, we can be able to see that, for example, in the resolutions under the Olkarau municipality, this house had resolved that most of the work should be done within either 30 days, and to an extent for other issues like tilting, that they should be done within 6 months. When you see the the findings, you can be able to see that it was a tedious work. Even it has been mentioned by the CCM that in the process they found very many handicaps. To an extent, they had to seek judicial intervention, something that could have been overlooked by this assembly. But now when we come to the implementation, we usually go and find the handles.
Point of information.
Okay.
Information to who, Honorable Kongo?
Yes, Chair.
All right. Chair, you need the information?
Yes.
Proceed.
When we as a committee, we talk of implementable resolutions, because we want this to come up clearly that we are not undermining the committees. We want just to challenge. When we bring resolution in this house, we do a bit of research and do whatever we are requesting, because it is making it difficult for the committee on implementation on how to follow up on some of this resolution. For example, when we say that the county government through the Department of RADS, Physical Planning and Urban Development, shall ensure that the process of RAD allocation and titling within the Olkarau municipality is concluded within 6 months. It is not possible in this country to get titles within 6 months. So we also need to, the way we do the resolution. For example, when that kind of a resolution comes to the committee, how do we deal with it? Because we also need to look, some of these RAD that we are talking of within municipality, they are cases, they are double allocations over the time. Others, there is allocation. There have been a task force that has not been able, and the committee should have this information because it is the mother committee. The RADS department, by the time they are making this, the RADS committee, by the time they are making this resolution, they know the magnitude of the work that is there. They know the challenge. How do I count? How do I hold the account, the CCM, on that matter? And that is all we are trying to bring it out. We are just trying to bring it out. We make a resolution that is implementable within that time. Otherwise, we can only follow up on matter. On such a matter, we keep following it on it, but we cannot have titles within 6 months.
All right. Honorable Kamana, proceed.
Okay, thank you so much. Indeed, Madam Speaker, Honorable Member Kongo has added on what I was trying to explain to this House. The good thing with this report, although some of the members could see it as a very short report, but it is one of the good statements because we can be able to see the questions in terms of the statements, and in addition, we can be able even to see the resolutions of this House. And finally, we have another part that has now the findings and even the recommendations. And to a great extent, we even have annexures to support some of these things. So the members should be able to know that other than other committees, the Committee of Implementation is able to look at the work that has been done. It is not really our work to see the details. We are able now to see what findings have been brought by the committee itself or by other stakeholders like the executive. So I want to support or to say that it's a job well done, although I'm calling it as although I'm not the pauper, Honorable Madam Speaker. But if you can allow me even to go out of this report and be able to answer Honorable Ngeshe, who is my chairman for Committee of Health, that the Committee of Health had made a recommendation, not a recommendation, but a resolution that was passed by this House, that the government should forthwith or henceforth be able to terminate the transfers that had been done. by the Department of Health. You know what came about those recommendations? We were taken back and forth. They were able to technically be able to circumvent what these house had been able to do, such that we had many other reports that came to your committee. We as the implementation committee, we had our hands tied. We had still to wait for you to see the intervention that you could have been able to do. Just to remind you, Honorable Chairman, Health Services. Honorable Madam Speaker, this is the report that we have been able to do. We are going to bring other more resolutions to this House so that the relevant committees and the relevant users of that information can be able to see the extent of the implementation as it is supposed to happen in this county government. I move this motion, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kamwana, for that well-explained motion. I now put the question, which is that this House does adopt the report of the committee on implementation on the status or extent of implementation of various county assembly resolutions as a report of the House and the recommendation therein as a resolution of this House. May those of a similar opinion say aye. May those of a contrary opinion say nay.
Nay.
And the ayes have it. Clerk, next order.